Cold and soaking wet. Showers all day, some quite heavy, to go with a high temperature reaching only 46. The weekend arrives, more rain could come with it. A 50% chance for showers both Saturday and Sunday, with high temperatures around 50 degrees each day. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
This is The Point. Make The Point Radio.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in. How has your day after signing day been? Well, today was like a miniature signing day if you're South Carolina. What a good day for the Gamecocks. Shane Beamer, no doubt, all smiles after acquiring two, at least on paper, always caution because you never know, high schoolers, but guys with great resumes. Landon Duckworth sticking with the Gamecocks, rebuffing overtures from Lane Kiffin at LSU, and this time sticking to his commitment. His coach is going to join us in about 10 minutes or so. They have a state championship game tomorrow, going for their second state championship.
Well, I hope so.
With Landon Duckworth at why would you hope so?
Well, if Landon Duckworth is as good as everybody believes he is, he ought to be able to guide his team to a state final.
Well, you can't do it by yourself.
Well, this is true. Lenore Sellers found that out this year, didn't he?
Now, he comes from a loaded program. He's got several teammates who are signing or who have signed with P4 programs. So he comes from a loaded program. So Coach Cody Flournoy will be with us here in just a few minutes to talk about what it's been like around there the last 48 hours or so. And then South Carolina, I guess the biggest, because this was a true battle to the wire, they get the signature of Julian Walker from Dutch Fork, the longtime Michigan commitment. You got to give South Carolina a lot of credit here. Their coaching staff never gave up. Of course, they had all the inherent advantages of a local kid whose father is a member of the program, so they had all kind of advantages there, and they just had to somehow, some way, show the young man that staying home and playing at South Carolina would be all the equal that it would be by going up to Michigan. And so that was a big signing for South Carolina. I'm assuming, I haven't checked Twitter, I'm assuming that Tristan Lewis went ahead and signed at about 4:30 this afternoon up at Greenwood. So that would finalize everything from a South Carolina standpoint. Then Clemson goes and gets a commitment today. No big surprise here. The wide receiver from over at Daniel, whose father works for the Clemson administration in the Dabo Swinney department there, Trey Wembley. So he committed to Clemson for the 2027 class. So even though yesterday was the National Signing Day, a lot of activity around here in the last 24 hours. So if you've been trying to get through the annual case of post-signing day syndrome, also known as PSDS, a little dose of adrenaline today would help you get through it. It helped me get through it because I tried to sleep it off. After the day after, I'm like a dog. I just want a place to sleep. I'm like a dog. I just want to curl up next to. I tried to curl up next to the plumber and then got pushed away. I
don't blame him.
I'd curl up next to anything. I was so tired.
Kicked away. It was not just a push; it was a kick.
But a little PSDS there will help you out. Yeah.
Tristan Lewis did sign this afternoon, and you got a retweet from Shane Beamer this afternoon as well, which I thought was rather interesting. because you wanted to rub it in the face of all those guys that had predicted that Landon Duckworth was going to sign with LSU. And Coach Beamer came back and said, Phil, because he put in about 5 exclamation points, off the top rope. So well done, sir.
I guess
well
that's a good thing.
That would be a good question. How we try and figure out if Coach Beamer's, as he handles the media, that would have been a good question, I guess.
In Twitter ease, that's a good thing. Well, I get a little bit listen, I report what those guys report, and they seem to be so sure of what they're reporting. I mean, he was projecting a flip there from South Carolina to LSU, and it didn't happen. That's why, I mean, look, I don't hold it against the guy. Recruiting is until they sign. Even after they sign, you still don't know 100% for sure with things that could happen. You hope that everything is locked down and ready to go with players who have signed. But we've seen players sign and come to school in January and transfer out before the spring game, So, but you hope that's not the case with the guys you're signing. You're hoping that the guys you're signing have bought in. They're going to be loyal to you. You're going to be loyal to them. And it's going to be a happy marriage. But this day, with the easy transfer until they tighten up those rules if they can, the thing is, I'm seeing a lot of blowback from athletes. Some of the things they're talking about in Congress that they want to do and give the colleges the protections that they would need to be able to tighten up some of these rules. And I'm seeing some of the athletes like, no, we don't want to give up this freedom that we've got. Mm-hmm. We don't want to have salary caps. We don't want to be locked into a school for 3 or 4 years. And we don't want to really – what they're saying is we want to be paid and we want to be professionals, but we don't want to be treated like professional athletes. They kind of want their – they kind of want everything here. They kind of want –
the cake and eat it too?
Yeah, they just want everything that they can get. They want it, and they don't want to give it back.
Well, it's funny, too, because I was sitting there yesterday at lunch before I went over to basketball, and I was reading all this stuff about Landon Duckworth, and I'm just going to use him as an example, but he's certainly not alone. And I was thinking about, here's a kid who committed twice to the University of South Carolina. Then the week after Mike Schuler was fired, came back and said his recruitment was shut down, i.e., I am definitely committed to the University of South Carolina. And then I see all this stuff yesterday, and it looks like he's going to sign with LSU, and I'm glad he didn't, because I was thinking we'd have to come on here and talk about how the kid, quite frankly, would have just lied to USC 2 or 3 times. And we're raising a generation of people, whether or not, it's young men, young women, it's mostly young men because we follow recruiting and football so heavily, that their word means nothing. So I was glad to see that Landon Duckworth stuck with his maybe not his initial pledge, but certainly his second go-around with the Gamecocks, and his word does mean something. I feel much better about the young man.
Well, let's face it. We have put children – they are still children, right? We have put children, 15, 16, 17-year-old, even 18. Though once you hit 18, you're sort of kind of getting towards an adult, but you're not there yet. We're putting children in a very bad position of dealing with money at heavy sure. doses of money, and dealing with adults and dealing with so-called adults, agents and coaches. And my feeling, not going to say every coach, but this time of year, college coaches during the recruiting season, they become used car salesmen. And they're just trying to close the deal. They're trying to close the deal. Some of them are trying to close the deal before they get out of town and go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But they're just, they're slick back. They're quick talkers. Now they really have deals to throw at these children and their families. And we've created this environment now. We've created this environment where money's just being thrown around like it's printed. Like every school has got a printer and is just printing out $100 bills. And it's just crazy. And it's not getting any better. Things that I'm reading indicate that, the spending is just going to keep going up, up, up. And this was not what it was supposed to be when NIL was created and when it went through the courts and it was approved and it became, well, not the law of the land because it's not been legislated, but it has been, given right. to us by the judiciary. But it wasn't supposed to be a situation where schools would be bidding against one another over talent. It was supposed to be the athletes would have the right. You couldn't restrict them. and they would have the right to use their name, image, and likeness to go make money. And all of a sudden, of course, it wasn't, the ink wasn't even dry on those documents before collectives were popping up and schools started using that to entice athletes, despite the rules saying that you couldn't. And they're paying no attention to that, none whatsoever.
Well, think about the cottage industry that has been built based off name, image, and likeness, which is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. Not just the athletes being able to be directly paid by the schools, pretty much, the collectives that popped up. But, Phil, we've got general managers in college athletics that you would not need if it were actually name, image, and likeness. If the players were able to go out and do their own thing, you wouldn't need a general manager trying to figure out a way to pay a quarterback versus how much do I pay my running back. I've also got to get wide receivers for this guy so he can throw in. Oh, by the way, got to pay at least 5, 10, 15 guys up front to protect him. I mean, just think of all the jobs that have been developed and created because of we've just let name, image, and likeness run way off the pathway and so far beyond what it was supposed to be when it first was instituted.
Absolutely. And you know that's another line item expense in your budget. I mean, what are you paying these general managers? $500,000, $750,000, and their staff? I mean, you're just talking about expenses going up. And, if you're winning and everybody is happy and giving money, I guess, that's one thing. But those years when you're not winning, like teams around here have gone through, those years, it makes it kind of hard for the folks to want to give. It makes it kind of hard for them to want to dig it even deeper into their pockets. Okay, so coming up in just a few moments, we're going to catch up with Coach Cody Flournoy in Jackson, Alabama, to talk about Landon Duckworth and what it was like for him the last couple of days. At 6:35, it'll be Mike Morgan joining us. Morgan on the move, and Mike transitioning some basketball along with the football. 7:05, new Clemson defensive end signee Michael Foster from up at Indian Land High School. Got a teammate, Sequel Patterson, going to South Carolina. So that program, which didn't do really anything for a long time, producing 2 big-time players. David Shelton coming up, and also the M&M boys. We got a full bucket for you on a big Thursday. Back in a moment.
It might be tough to picture your kid in college today, but it'll be here before you know it. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving right now. You can start with any amount. Savings grow tax-free, and friends and family can chip in too. Discover the smart, easy way to save today at FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com.
Hi, this is Billy Downer from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Are you looking for a safe place to shoot your rifle or handgun? Did you know that the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources operates 4 manned ranges across the state in Pickens County, Spartanburg County, Richland County, and Charleston County? For more information on our public ranges, visit dnr.sc.gov/shooting.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risks that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
So a big day for South Carolina. I mean, as bad as things were during the season, there's one way to turn the mood. That is to go out and get some good players and have it happen in a day when the nation is watching because most of the other signings were done yesterday. So this is the kind of day that gets you a lot of attention with Julian Walker signing with South Carolina and Tristan Lewis following through and signing, and also Landon Duckworth sticking to it and signing with the Gamecocks this afternoon. He's getting ready to play in a state championship game tomorrow in Birmingham. We have his coach with us once again from Jackson, Alabama, Coach Cody Flournoy. And first of all, thank you so much. Congratulations on your season. I know you guys are excited, but let's talk about your quarterback. What was it like for you guys, like the last 48 hours?
It's been interesting. The phone's been ringing a lot. I'll say that.
From who?
All right. So, he's a top recruit in the nation, and he was recruited over at Ole Miss, and then part of that staff had went over to LSU, and so when they started moving over, his phone started ringing. They were looking to add a piece, kind of a splash piece to their recruiting class. And so, they called and made a heavy push. And, to Landon's credit and then to Coach Beamer's credit, he ends up signing with the Gamecocks. So, I think they just want to hear what the offer was, him and his camp, and just kind of make a decision on, what was best for his future. But, of course, relationships went out, especially in this recruiting world, and that's where he decided to come home to South Carolina.
So can you give us some idea of the back and forth between Landon and Ole Miss, and then Landon talking with South Carolina with Coach Beamer, and just sort of how frequent that was, how much they talked over the last, I guess maybe going back to trying to remember when Kiffin landed there, maybe like Monday or Tuesday. When did it really start to fire up?
It was this week. So I think when did Kiffin get hired? Saturday.
He left. The Egg Bowl was on Friday, so he would have been heading out Saturday.
Anyway, they just get there and start looking at their recruiting class. They were looking at all the pieces that they had. What can we do? Who do we know? And I think that's where Landon, because they had already had a relationship with him from his previous recruit, even though he's committed to South Carolina for a long time. They were still looking at, hey, we got a relationship with this guy. Maybe we can pull this guy in here and just make a splash. I think that's what they were looking for, a big splash piece.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get your quarterback place in peace, a lot of the other pieces will fall into place with that. You want to build a recruiting class around your quarterback. You can recruit a lot of receivers and linemen, but that guy's going to touch the ball every play.
So in his conversations with South Carolina, how did Coach Beamer approach him, and kind of did he have to settle his concerns about them not having a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator right now? Was that a concern of his? What were
he talked about what his plans were moving forward, but the biggest thing is that he knew what he had in South Carolina. He felt good about the relationships there and the pieces that were already in place. And, for instance, the guys that are signing there now, and you've already spoke to it as I was coming on, but it's like, hey, they signed a good class despite having a down year. Listen, I'll tell you this. We were watching and just hit Landon's recruiting video that they posted, and the stadium's out there rocking and everybody's going crazy. And it's like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And, Coach Beamer's done a good job. He's called every day. He's called like once a week during the season and just done a good job, even despite, a tough year, just keeping those relationships up. So just, kudos to them.
Was there any point in time this week, you being as close to it as you were and knowing the conversations and what was going on, was there any point in the week when you thought, he might change his mind and go to LSU?
Yeah. I mean, Baton Rouge is 4 hours from us. Columbia's 8 hours or something. And some of that stuff matters. But it still comes down to relationships, and I think that's what it ends up, because he had been recruited by Ole Miss and the Kiffin staff before. He never felt, at peace or at ease, and then, it's kind of like in the end, it's kind of like, hey, if I really wanted to play for Coach Kiffin, I could have got with him at Ole Miss, and and I think that's where kind of looking at what's on roster there with South Carolina, and some of the reasons he had already picked it earlier to where he felt good about that. There was some said about his relationships with current players. He called on the phone to talk to guys that had been through this process, and so credit to him and his family. He's done his homework, and to me, it just speaks volumes to South Carolina. Even though hey, we know it was a tough season this year, but they're still doing things right.
Visiting with Cody Flournoy, coach at Jackson, Alabama, getting ready to tee it up for another state championship try tomorrow, 11 o'clock local time in Birmingham against Anniston High School, undefeated Anniston.
That's
so
right.
Is Duckworth going to be the second coming of Lenore Sellers? I mean, is he going to be just like Lenore as a player?
Yeah, I mean, heck, I'd like to say better, but I had never coached Lenore. So he's a special player, but so is Landon. Landon's coming off his best game of the season right now, playing his best football later in the year. We've been kind of beat up and banged up as a team, and here we are deep in the playoffs. This is our 15th game, and we got some pieces healthy, and we're playing as good a football right now. But even though we've been beat up all year, Landon's led the way the whole time. He's quarterback. He touches the ball every play, and just been an explosive player for us. But I think that's what South Carolina's going to get is I like the term second coming of Lenore because I like that player, and I think Landon's going to break out and shock some people that because that's who he is. He's an athlete. He's a leader, and it's one of those things where I don't know, this high ceiling for him is what I'll say.
Does he care if Lenore is there in 26?
I don't think so. It's a piece to, part of, hey, I can come in and play early, but he's still a kid. And so, like I said, relationships matter to him and small things matter. And it's like, hey, I want to get in. He's going to graduate. He's going to have to go try to figure out what's going on at college. My daughter's a freshman right now at the University of Alabama, and there's days where, that are not so good. She's away from home and wants to be at home. And so, he's going to have to deal with some of that. And to add being a quarterback in the SEC, that don't make it any easier because even in high school football, if things don't go well, the quarterback gets too much blame. Too much praise, too much blame. It's just part of playing that position. But with him, I think if he gets a year under his belt and comes back around, he'll be even better that next year. But if he's pressed into, fight for that job, hey, he knows how to compete too. So the stuff on the field will be easy for him. It's just handling, being at college and being away from home and some of that stuff that normal kids go through. So, yeah, he is human, but on the field stuff, he should be fine there.
He is coming in January?
Yes, sir, coming in January. So he's an early graduate. He's got a couple more weeks here at school. He's going to play in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, which is a big honor here in our state. And so he's going to be QB1 for that team. We'll go next week and prepare for that. And he'll play next Saturday on I think it's the 13th. And so I think he may have another All-Star game that he's playing in. And then sometime 1st of January, and he ought to be in school after that.
All right. Good luck to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for taking time out to be with us. I know you can exhale a little bit now that all this is behind you and focus on the important task, and that's getting another ring.
Yeah, hey, no doubt. And that's one thing we talked with him, hey, go, he signed today. We was happy he signed today. It just takes some of that pressure off of him, answer some of these phone calls and do a few interviews. But, that way we can get into this evening and tomorrow morning and just focus on beating Anniston. So just really pumped up for him. He's going to end his career, got a chance to end it as, one of the most decorated high school players ever in the state of Alabama. So, just looking forward to what we got going on.
We thank you for being with us. Hope to meet you when you come to Columbia to watch him play, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Go Aggies.
Go Aggies. There you go. Jackson, Alabama Aggies going for another, I think it's a small school. I think they're a smaller
4A.
school.
Yeah, they're 4A. They're the second-ranked team in 4A in Alabama. The team they're playing is number 4 in 4A.
Okay, we'll be right back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy skies this evening, the low temperature dipping down to 43. Tomorrow will be nasty as we've seen in a while. Cold and soaking wet. Showers all day, some quite heavy, to go with a high temperature reaching only 46. The weekend arrives, more rain could come with it. A 50% chance for showers both Saturday and Sunday, with high temperatures around 50 degrees each day. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
This fall, discover a place where friendly faces greet you at the door. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington. Greg Lynette and their welcoming team make every visit a breeze with expert advice and genuine hometown care. No more endless aisles or big box blues. Just quality products and people who want to know your name. For every project, big or small, find what you need and a neighborly smile at 2028 Augusta Highway. Shop local. Shop happy. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington.
Choose a final. This is an SRN News special report. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Supreme Court is allowing the challenged Texas congressional redistricting plan to be used in next year's election, despite a lower court ruling that said the map likely discriminates on the basis of race. The map is favorable to Republicans and was pushed by President Donald Trump. The justices acted Thursday on an emergency request from Texas for quick action because qualifying in the new districts already has begun, with primary elections in March. The Supreme Court's order puts the 2-1 ruling blocking the map on hold, at least until after the High Court issues a final decision on the case. The effort to preserve a slim Republican majority in the House in 2026 touched off a nationwide redistricting battle. This has been an SRN News special report.
Lots of plumbing companies out there. Few are truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
The holiday shopping season is here. Get ahead of the crowd by shopping early and shopping smart with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through December 31st, take advantage of 5.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Whether you're picking up the hottest toys for the kids or finally grabbing that item you've had your eye on, this offer makes it easier to spend holiday cheer without stretching your budget. Founders is here to help you make the most of the season with smart spending and flexible options. Treat your family and yourself. Save more and make this holiday season one to remember. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more information. Membership qualification required. Promotional rate ends July 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13% to 17.9% will apply. See website for details.
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
Big Thursday night here on Sports Talk. Phil Kornbluth, Chris Bergen, the plumber, Josh Cohen. How you feeling, plumber? Everything come out all right over the last couple of days?
Everything is very smooth.
Good.
Last class of the semester today.
You're going to pull in all C's?
At least 4 A's. And
I mean, make us proud of you. At least all C's. Make us proud of you.
I did get an 100 on one of my finals, just for you.
That's nice.
It was a journalism final. I took what you do and did the opposite.
Excellent. Glad to hear. Mike Morgan.
What was the toughest question?
He can't
Ask
remember.
ChatGPT.
All right, very quickly, just a couple of quick notes. Reported earlier today by outlets that Marquell Blackwell is out as South Carolina's running backs coach after 2 seasons. As of this afternoon, I haven't looked recently, he was still listed on the roster of the coaches, but I mean, they just haven't gotten around to it, I guess, but it's been reported by Go Gamecocks and the team websites as well. Newberry quarterback Reed Sharpia is a finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy, Player of the Year in Division II, and what a year he's having, getting Newberry to the regional finals of the playoffs. Looks like Billy Napier is going to be the new head coach at James Madison. Looks like that's going to happen. Oh, and it does not look like Steve Engelhardt is going to be the new coach at UAB, right? I think they're promoting.
That's a shame. Evidently, they're going to promote from within, yeah.
Yeah. Had been reported.
And Marquell Blackwell
has
been pulled. Excuse me, Phil. Marquell has been pulled from the USC coaching roster on the website.
That makes it official now. And Joshua Stone King, one of 3 defensive finalists. This is out of Furman for the Buck Buchanan Award for the most outstanding defensive player in FCS. So just a few notes there. All right, it is now time to turn our attention to the ever-spinning world of one Michael Morgan. Michael Morgan, also known as Mike Morgan, brought to you by Play It Again Sports in Harbison, where Christopher Mosley runs the best sporting goods shop in the Palmetto State with all the things you'll want to buy, sell, or trade, best selection, best prices, and a great friendly staff. Play It Again Sports in Columbia.
Sponsored by Midstate Roofing, South Carolina's leading roofer for over 30 years, protecting what matters most.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Mike Day.
Woo-hoo!
We welcome in Mike Morgan. Morgan on the move. Of course, we got the SEC football championship game coming up Saturday, Alabama, Georgia. But the heck with that, Mike, because Greg Sankey has told us on December 11th They're going to unveil the schedule for next year. Now, what's more important?
Yeah. Well, if you're not in the game, some people might tell you they'd rather. No, I mean, there's a big kind of anti-conference championship game sentiment from a lot of people out there these days. I'm never going to sign off on that, at least not on the SEC side. The game to me is still special. I enjoy it every year. What is it, 33 years now? I remember watching the first one, 92 in Birmingham, and I don't think I've missed one since on TV. Been to a couple here in Atlanta, and it's still a great game. It's Georgia and Alabama. I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen some fresh blood in there, but that's not the way it worked out. So it's a very familiar matchup, and it's the one matchup that Kirby Smart has not dominated. He's 1-7 against Alabama, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. But I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So, in your opinion, what's the impact of this game on the playoffs, on the college football playoff? I mean, are we assuming that both of these teams will be in the playoffs, win or lose? I guess maybe Georgia for sure. Alabama, are they going to be a lock for the playoffs with a loss even?
It's going to be interesting. Now, maybe this is recency bias on my part. I just called the Texas A&M game last Friday night, and Texas to me. So I've watched Texas now in person beat Oklahoma, beat an undefeated A&M team that was third in the country, and then of course they also beat Vanderbilt when they were in the top 10. Nobody else in college football has done that. But right now, they're on the outside looking in because they have 3 losses, because they bothered to play Ohio State on the road in week 1. As Sark said, and he's not wrong, if they elected to just play Louisiana Monroe or Western Kentucky, they would be 10-2, and they would be a virtual lock. But we are going to continue to penalize teams for playing difficult non-conference schedules, which is why you're going to see South Carolina gets rid of Miami. Alabama gets rid of USF. We're going to see the elimination of intriguing non-conference games with a 9-game SEC slate, and teams are going to be like, well, what's the point? If the knuckleheads on this committee still don't really look at strength of record and strength of schedule, why am I scheduling games that we might lose? That's a long way of saying if Alabama lost, they would be 9-3, and Texas would be 9-3. And I would contend Texas has the better resume. However, I wouldn't want to be the one to go back to your favorite person in college athletics, Greg Sankey. I wouldn't want to be the one that says, Alabama, you are now eliminated from the playoff because you participated and lost the SEC championship game. So that's the rub.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have lost to Florida State to open the season. The way things turned out for Florida State, they wouldn't have that second loss on their schedule, Alabama. But you're right. Do you penalize a team for making it to their championship game, losing, and thus being knocked out of the playoff picture? Then again, this committee is just weird because they penalize Vanderbilt for beating Tennessee so badly that they dropped Tennessee from the rankings, and now they say, well, Vanderbilt didn't beat anybody. They beat a non-ranked team. So,
yeah,
it's just, with all the data being, thrown around out there and all the difference, it still boils down to the individual taste and to how an individual feels about a particular team. I think this team is good. They should be in. I think this team's not quite as good. They shouldn't be in.
Yes, it is I mean, when you listen, and I admittedly, I don't sit down every Tuesday night and watch the selection show.
What are you doing?
If I do,
what do you do on Tuesday nights? Is that your poker night?
Sometimes, a glass of wine, maybe something on Netflix, maybe a nice melodrama. I don't know. Is The Bachelor still on? Maybe catch an episode, see who gets a rose. Now, I just, when I watch it, I get frustrated because I realize the committee, what they do is they go backwards. They decide who they really want in. And then they'll give when you know they're in trouble when they start saying, "Well, we really think that their rush defense is not up to par," and we thought their third down conversion rate last week was not sufficient enough to be one of the top 12 teams. When they start doing that, when they start justifying in a way that you just know they're reaching, and that's what they're doing. And the whole thing that was supposed to come out of this season that was different was the strength of record component. So in other words, a 3-loss team could easily be a better choice than a 2-loss team. But you know what? I don't think we're going to have that. And we're still going to have a separate thing of rules for Notre Dame. I can't wait to hear them justify taking Notre Dame in over Miami, if that's the case. You mentioned Vanderbilt. Is Oklahoma getting in over Vanderbilt? Then why? Because they're both 10-2. They didn't play one another. Why is Oklahoma's resume better than Vanderbilt's? I haven't heard a good reason on that. There's not a whole lot about this that really is earth-shattering in the way of progress. It's just a lot of the same type of. It might as well be 1936, we're all wearing a derby on our head, and we're all voting in the AP poll, where every 10-0 team is better than every 9-1 team, and every 9-1 team is better than every 8-2 team, and so on and so forth.
I'm for that. I still believe in New Year's Day. I want to go back to the New Year's Day bowls. Let's play them out, and then let's vote on Monday. Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Split title corn blue.
Mike Morgan on the move with us here tonight. And Mike, sort of dovetailing off some of your comments about Vanderbilt in particular, more clever idea for them to try and figure out a way to get an exempt 13th game, say, against a team like Texas this weekend to try and bolster their resume, or Diego Pavia reaching directly to President Donald Trump to ask him to put an executive order in place to expand the playoffs this year.
I'm going Pavia in the executive order in the White House, bringing his mom and his brother in handcuffs after yet another unruly event with people and security, and see if they can hash this out. No, there's not going to be an exempt game. There's not going to be this. I mean, it's silly talk, and it makes good headlines, but it's definitely not going to happen. I'm afraid Vanderbilt, on the most historic season that they've ever had, is going to wind up out of this thing. It really is amazing, because I thought this was going to be the year that we would have a 3-loss SEC team get in, and we might. I mentioned Alabama and Texas and that whole conundrum, or we might have a 2-loss team from the SEC left out, which might be more likely at this point. So it hasn't gone exactly the way that I thought it would, other than the lack of faith I have in this whole committee process remains the same. They get together and they look so silly, and they sound even sillier when they talk. And Hunter Yurachek is a very respected athletic director, although they certainly could stand to get a good football hire at this point. We'll see how Silverfield works out. But when he's asked to talk and kind of show the math, if you will, it never comes across very well. And it didn't do that. It didn't come across very well when it was Ward Manuel. And I don't know if there's anybody on this thing that ever sounds good when they have to go in front of a microphone and justify how they come up with the process.
Well, and it's because there's always going to be somebody burned, or a couple that are going to be burned, because they feel like they've got the resume to be in there. We've already got coaches, of course, campaigning for their teams, just like basketball coaches. Just become just like basketball coaches. And I it's a whatever. It's the system that we've got in place at this particular time. Hopefully one day we'll resolve it. And I don't know how you do that unless you just get to the point where you have enough leagues with champions qualifying, and then you have a system like the NFL where you have your automatic qualifiers because of your division champions, and then you organize your runner-ups that get in. You do it on merit and not on some committee. Could you imagine an NFL committee selecting the teams to make the NFL playoffs? Can you imagine that kind of deal?
Wow. No, I used to make that same comment back when we didn't have a playoff in college football. And look, let's not get this twisted. This is 1,000 times better than what we used to have with the BCS and then a 4-team playoff. I'll take this over that any day. There's always going to be something to complain about, and so here we are complaining. I get it, but no, I mean, I'm not yearning for the day of the Massey computer poll and the AP poll and the Harris poll, which might as well have my mailman filling out a ballot. And those were the people selecting who was 1 versus 2 in a BCS championship game.
I happen to know your mailman. He's a pretty smart fellow.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I love him, and especially when he keeps the mail dry.
Yes. Mike Morgan on the move. So let's think about this for a second. Let's just say Duke wins the ACC championship. Now, they're going to get passed over. Could this work out where you have 2 group of 6 teams make the playoffs by virtue of the ranking of the 5 highest ranked champions of leagues?
Could you have 2 group of 5 teams go in, you mean?
Yeah. Could you have?
Yes.
I mean,
possible.
If the ACC gets left out, let's say the ACC gets left out.
Yes, Tulane and JMU.
Mm-hmm. How will the betting public, the college betting public, feel about that?
The betting public?
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't know how the betting public.
Well,
the
college public, betting. Everybody's betting. So, how are they going to feel? how are they going to feel with a playoff that's got Tulane and who do we say?
James Madison.
And James Madison, and maybe no Alabama, maybe no Oklahoma, a Vanderbilt team that really should be in on its record and its merit because it's Vanderbilt and it will never be here again, probably. So I don't know. I mean, maybe freshness is new. Maybe freshness is good.
Well, look, no one's going to feel sorry for a Duke team if they do win the ACC title game, not getting in. I mean, you cover a lot of ACC athletics. At some point, I just had the SEC ACC challenge last night. I had Georgia Tech, Mississippi State. The SEC just won another ACC-SEC challenge.
But it was close.
9-7.
It was close.
It was close. It wasn't like the 14-2 of a year ago.
No.
But, and I do think studying the ACC and basketball this year for the first time in a while, I do think they're going to be a much better league. But the point is that the ACC has had a rough go of it here in the major sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point they need to get their prominence back in basketball, not just one really good team like a Final Four team, but be deep like they always used to be. And then they've got to get football back on track because you just can't have – I mean, I still think the most talented ACC football team is Miami. That's what my eyes tell me. But they couldn't get to the ACC championship game. I mean, how does that happen? Like Clemson down, Florida State down, Virginia Tech down, Georgia Tech floundered at the end. I don't know. I don't know how they fix it per se, but it needs to be fixed. They need to get better. We should never have this conversation again where the ACC is wondering if they can't have one of the top 5 conference champions in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on,
Yeah.
that would be quite an indictment if they're left out of the playoff. But they wouldn't have anybody to blame but themselves.
Yep, you're exactly right. Where are you this weekend?
I am in Tuscaloosa. Speaking of good basketball teams, I think Alabama might be the best in the SEC. So that'll be on Sunday at 1:00 on the SEC network. So I go from ACC network to SEC network, and then wherever else. But that'll be the agenda this week. The first time I will not be on a plane to a football stadium in 15 weeks.
Wow.
So I'll miss it, but I'll also be a little bit relieved at the same time, but just kind of be able to take it all in and enjoy it.
You do that. We'll let you get back to your nap. Let your voice deepens as you nap. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. I hope I brought the best post-nap thunder in this segment as I could possibly muster up.
Thunder and lightning, that's what you are.
If you're watching The Golden Bachelor this week, Phil's on this edition.
Thank you, Plummer. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Well, gosh, there's going to be one lucky woman out there.
My wife will be watching as well to see how I do. So, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you guys.
I'm golden. Thank you, Mike. I'm golden. I'm certainly not a bachelor. I will say I'm golden.
I don't have a reason to argue with him, Phil, but if Alabama is indeed the best team in the SEC, like Mike says, what does that say about Clemson? Because Clemson gave them everything they could handle last night.
They really did after being down 19. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Jim Corbett. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years. There's one thing I've learned about injury cases. It's you need the personal touch. You need the lawyer to get to know you and describe your damages. You don't want a case manager talking to an insurance company and then talking to you and then talking to maybe to a lawyer with limited experience at the last minute to try to settle a case. I talk to you. I find out what your case is about. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com for your injury cases.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
And I didn't stop there, I swear. From the time I wake up to the time I lay down, it's the devil's playground everywhere that I look. Swear it's there in my blood.
Well, I know his bedtime is coming up, so I don't want to try to hold him over because we're short on time. But we have Tiger Bryan standing by. We got about, we got 90 seconds, Tiger Bryan. Go right ahead, sir. Welcome in. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, who won the lunch you're supposed to buy somebody? I know they got rules.
Let me check. Did we have anybody nail it, Plummer?
Not a single one.
Sorry about that.
I know when nobody gonna win it.
I just have to go by myself this week.
I know. Hey, make Corn take you. You know what I mean?
I ain't paying for
Hey,
him.
I told you.
I don't want that.
I told you, Corn, you got to eat crow. I told you we was gonna win out.
Yeah, give me some crow. You're right. I was wrong. You were right. I was wrong. You were right. Wrong, right, wrong, right.
Yeah, it's all good. I've been up under the weather. That's why.
Oh no.
It's no mess going around about 2 weeks.
Yep. I had the same thing about 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's tough. But anyway, I'm going to get Mickey Plyler tomorrow morning.
You're going to get him to do what?
He's got to eat crow too, because he picked Carolina and Clinton.
Mickey Plyler picked the Gamecocks?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my gosh. That's got to be like
Man,
a first.
breakfast every Friday morning. We're going to get his butt.
You make him eat some crow. He needs to eat some crow. We got to go. You eat the crow, and we got to go. Mickey Plyler picked the Gamecocks. Wow. I bet you he had some sleepless nights over that.
Wow.
All right, top of the hour, we got Michael Foster coming up.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Supreme Court is allowing the challenged Texas congressional redistricting plan to be used in next year's election, despite a lower court ruling that said the map likely discriminates on the basis of race. The map is favorable to Republicans and was pushed by President Trump. The justices acted Thursday on an emergency request from Texas for quick action because qualifying in the new districts already has begun with primary elections in March. The Supreme Court's order puts the 2-1 ruling blocking the map on hold at least until after the High Court issues a final decision in the case. The effort to preserve a slim Republican majority in the House in 2026 touched off a nationwide redistricting battle. Members of Congress are hearing more about a U.S. boat strike near Venezuela.
Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley told lawmakers there was no kill them all order from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth as Congress scrutinizes an attack that killed 2 survivors of an initial strike on an alleged drug boat near Venezuela. Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton was asked if there was the kill order.
No, both. Admiral Bradley was very clear that he was given no such order.
Delaware Democrat Chris Coons says he came away with a different conclusion than Cotton.
In a second strike, they were killed, and in a third and fourth strike, the boat was sunk.
There are mounting questions over whether the strike may have violated the law. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The FBI has arrested a suspect 5 years after an unidentified person placed 2 pipe bombs outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Parties in Washington, D.C. Agents arrested Brian J. Cole, Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, on explosives charges. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 31 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
U.S. applications for unemployment benefits fell to their lowest level in more than 3 years last week. Correspondent Haya Pajwani reports.
The number of Americans applying for jobless benefits for the week ending November 29th fell to 191,000 from the previous week's 218,000. That's the lowest level in more than 3 years. Applications for unemployment aid are viewed as a proxy for layoffs and are close to a real-time indicator of the health of the job market. For now, the U.S. job market appears to be in a low hire, low fire state that has kept the unemployment rate historically low. Hayat Panjwani, Washington.
Russian authorities say they have imposed restrictions on Apple's video calling service FaceTime, alleging it was being used for organizing what it called terrorist activities. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy skies this evening, the low temperature dipping down to 43. Tomorrow will be nasty as we've seen in a while. Cold and soaking wet. Showers all day, some quite heavy, to go with a high temperature reaching only 46. The weekend arrives, more rain could come with it. A 50% chance for showers both Saturday and Sunday, with high temperatures around 50 degrees each day. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network. The day after National Signing Day. Today was kind of like a mini National Signing Day with all the activity. Phil Kornblut, Chris Bergen, and the plumber, Josh Cohen, with you once again. Let's continue with our great lineup of guests tonight. We heard from the coach of South Carolina, quarterback signee Landon Duckworth, in our first hour. Let's turn our attention to Clemson and one of the, I guess actually the final signee of the class for Clemson yesterday, Michael Foster, defensive end from Indian-Land, who up until about 4:30 or so was committed to East Carolina, and then he pulled off a shirt and pulled off a shirt and pulled off a shirt and finally got to the Clemson T-shirt, and he was committed to the Tigers at that point, and we welcome him to Sports Talk. And first of all, congratulations to you on signing with Clemson. How's it feel the day after?
The thing is, it feels great. This is something that I've been praying about for a while, and to see it finally come to full circle is nothing short of a blessing.
What was it like for you yesterday as you made your announcement?
It was great. In my announcement, again, this is something that I've just been leading up to, and to see my friends and family come out to support me, it was just amazing.
Tell us about how you have developed over the last couple of years. You moved to the Indian-Land area from Charlotte a couple of years ago, and an Indian-Land program that had not been a big-time football program, and then last couple of years has really taken off, and you guys had a great season this year, a great run in your development within that program. What do you point to as some of the key reasons behind that?
I would say, again, it was a great time. We have an amazing coaching staff. My D-line coach, Coach Moore, his alma mater is Clemson. So, just been for 2 whole years being able to develop with him over time it's just been great. I say, like you said, having a lot of people coming out of coming out of Indian-Land,
Mm-hmm.
But we have players like Dorian Williams who paved the way for players like me to go out there. But he's currently playing for the Bills right now. So, players like him, I know he went to Tulane, played FBS ball, and he's been able to go play big-time football in the NFL. So,
What have they focused on with you to mold you into a player who's reached the level where you can play defensive end at a place like Clemson?
I would say just getting in a program with the guys who all have a like-minded mindset that is wanting to go out there and win. So when we go, like for me at least, when we're in our session, we just work. We drill and drill and drill technique and to get it down. So when we get in the game, there is no doubt that we can go out there and dominate and do what we've been doing in practice.
Talking with Michael Foster, who signed with Clemson yesterday out of Indian Land, and you mentioned Coach Moore. I remember him when he played at Clemson, so you had that connection. Now, you were committed to East Carolina for a long time, and you didn't get an offer from Clemson until like November. Were you sensing throughout the year in your conversations with him, and maybe he was talking to the Clemson people for you, did you get a feeling that eventually Clemson would come around and make you an offer?
I had a feeling that, well, I didn't have a feeling. I just knew that if I put my head down and just grinded and work and continued to work and do what I've been doing on and off the field, and that is just give it everything I have, that, you know, eventually a school will come around. And there's no doubt that Clemson is a school. You know, Clemson is one of my dream schools, and, you know, just putting my head down and work and they coming around for that was just, you know, that's part of the process. That was great.
So they offered you kind of like middle to late November, but you stood by your commitment to East Carolina for a while longer. In fact, never decommitted, just announced for Clemson yesterday when you had your ceremony. In your mind, when did you decide 100% that you were going to go with Clemson?
I decided the night before. I actually spoke with the ECU coaches. It wasn't public. I just felt like as a professional courtesy, I was just going to let them know. I had a great relationship with the coaches. Coach Tesh, he's been nothing short of amazing throughout this process. So I called him and I let him know coming to Clemson. When I knew the night before. Again, I was talking to my family and just seeing what would be the best. I have family out there. My Uncle Richard, he played for Clemson. Uncle Richard, his name is Richard Smith. He played for them, and so that's part of it. And it's a dream school. It's a dream school for me, and it's also just a goal that I had set for myself. And I finally got that goal. Finally accomplished that goal.
Well, I remember your Uncle Richard. I think he was, wasn't he a defensive back?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thought so. Yeah, recognize that. Now, you had a terrific year at Indian Land. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the numbers that I had for you here. Over 100 tackles, over 25 tackles for loss, about 10.5, 11 sacks. What are some of your strengths coming off the edge? What makes you a really good edge rusher and a guy that can get to the quarterback?
What made me a good edge rusher? I have a great get off, but aside from that, I would say it's my high motor, my ability to go out there on the field and just play at a high motor, knowing that guys don't want me to come at them 110. They don't want me to give 110% of my energy on that field. You know, they don't want me to do that. So if I can do that for a whole game and help my team win in any way possible, you know, that's just that I'm willing to do it.
Do you believe that you're physically, mentally ready to take the next step next year and play some as a freshman, or do you think you'll need a year on the sideline to mature and season a little bit?
Well, I'm ready to go 1-0. I'm ready to go 1-0 every day. I want to stack good days like bricks. I'm really just ready to get in that program and begin to work.
Sound like a coach. Are you ready for the trip? Are you ready for the trip to LSU when they open the season at LSU?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready about everything about Clemson. Like it hasn't been my first rodeo. I've been around Clemson. A while. I've been there. Like I said, my uncle was there at the time, so I've always been around with him there. And so I just know everything about Clemson's environment and just the environment there. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
All right, before we let you go, we'll give you a free plug for your family's business, which is right there in Clemson, right, or in the area. Don't you? Tell us about the business.
Yes, sir. Okay, so my dad, he named it. It was Nick and Mike's Bar and Grill. Named it after me and my brother. We actually, our first location, we had one in Charlotte as well. When we were currently in Charlotte. But, we have one in there. We started off there, and we ended up moving out to Clemson because, of course, this is the dream school. It's like, this is the best place, to put it. And we put it there with the mindset of, do what you got to do. We can get an offer from Clemson. Hey, you come there, you get to eat. You know what I'm saying? But no, in all realness, yes, this is something my dad, he opened it to show me and my brother, how it is to be a businessman.
Awesome. Where's it located in Clemson?
It's located at it's like right before. It's like I could low key just give the address to it.
That's okay. It's like near the stadium. Downtown?
I would say it's like 5-10 minutes from the stadium.
Okay.
It's kind of connected with the hotel, the Best Western Hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where that is. And what do y'all like to serve?
We serve we have the traditional food, like the wings. You have the fries, burgers. We have sliders. We have we have ribs. It's a bunch. It's really it's nice. I recommend everything on the menu. I've tried it a bunch of times, so
I bet you it's good. Do you now when you work, do you like serve or do you cook or what do they have you doing?
Oh, I can do it all. Besides the bartending, I can't.
No.
But so I serve, I cook, serve and cook. That's really what it is. My parents have taught me to learn this business.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And so you got yourself a job when you're not doing football or not studying. You got a place to go work right there.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Help out the family.
There you go. Well, congratulations. A great story, you and the program there at Indian Land and how quickly that thing has developed to a really good football team. Y'all had a great year. You just ran into a team called Northwestern, which was pretty good, huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We, we fell short, but, I would say we gave it our all. We gave it our all. The teammates went out there and played, and we had a great week of practice. We just fell short, man, and we will get it back next year.
Yeah, man.
Come back stronger and harder next year.
Well, thank you for the time, man, and congratulations once again. Look forward to seeing you with the Tigers. Do you know what number you're going to wear?
32. My father actually wore 32. That's a legacy number right there.
No.
Defensive end wearing 32.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Trying to follow and surpass my father's footsteps.
Now, where'd your dad play?
My dad, he played at Western Kentucky, 2-time All-American.
That's right. I remember that. You telling me that. Yep. Well, listen, have
sir.
a great holiday season. You'll be enrolling in January or no?
I'll be enrolling in the summertime.
In the summertime. Okay. Well, then have a great second semester of your school. Congrats again, and we'll be looking forward to watching you with the Tigers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, buddy. All right. It's Michael Foster. How about that story, Bergie?
Interesting. Oh, yeah, it's great stuff. And he's got to serve sliders, smash burgers, right? I mean, the guy had 12 sacks this season.
Smothered. I guess you would call him smothered and covered.
Exactly.
When he
can
gets
do the hash browns. He's certainly smothered and covered quarterbacks this year.
There you go. All right, we'll be right back. David Shelton on the horizon.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show.
Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III. Heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work, and it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5.
Turning face to stars and stripes, it's fighting back them butterflies, it's calling in the air, all right, yes sir, we won the ball, and it's knocking heads and talking trash, it's slinging mud and dirt and grass, it's I got your number, I got your back, when your back's against the wall, you mess with one man, you got us all. The boys are fall.
We're running out of time. Running out of time with the boys of fall. Only 2 more days of high school football in South Carolina, not counting the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th, over this network, and the Shrine Bowl the following week. State championship games beginning on Friday at noon at South Carolina State. So we thought with David Shelton of the High School Sports Report, Charleston Post and Courier, we'd break it down in threes, 3 tonight and 3 tomorrow night, since that's how they're playing. So welcome, David. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. You sound good. Good to have you with us. Okay, so tomorrow, high noon, I think we got a great one to open it up. Belton Honeypath, Oceanside Collegiate in 3A. What should we know about this game?
Well, this is a rematch of last year's game. Both teams have really solid quarterbacks. Last year's game, Belton Honeypath's quarterback, Noah Thomas, broke his collarbone in the game and couldn't finish, but he's healthy this year. And, of course, Oceanside has Aiden Manabian, who is in his 3rd year. He's a junior. He's in his 3rd state championship game, looking for a 3rd title in a row. And both these teams are very, very good. These, in my opinion, we talked a lot about Loris. We talked a lot about Newberry. We talked a lot about Woodruff. These 2 teams are the best teams in 3A. So we got it. They got it right, so to speak.
Without a committee. My gosh, that's amazing.
How about that?
So we'll go through these one by one, and, of course, this is the highlight of the moment when we have a Shelton Says moment here on Sports Talk or the High School Scoreboard. So Shelton Says winner of 3A will be – did we lose David? All right, hang on. Just like that, Vamoose. He be gone. Is he back with us? No. Hang on a second.
Give me a few moments. I got to work out
I'm
some
going to pick
difficulties.
Oceanside for him, Phil.
Say again?
I think Oceanside wins.
You like Oceanside?
I do.
Well, I don't know.
And this goes
How do you
against
pick
my
'em?
rule. Yeah, this goes against my rule. Normally, when the teams are dead even, the rule is always go upper state.
Mhm.
But this one, I think, is going to go against my rule here.
I'm going to go the other way, and I don't really have any intellect either way. I'm going to go BHP because they're due. I just think they're due. Oceanside, they're defending champions. I think David said they've been there in their short history. They've been there a lot. I'm going to go with BHP because I think they're due. They've been really good for a number of years, and they haven't won that championship in a
Great
while.
high school community too.
Evidently,
I'd be happy for them.
Evidently, the bills were not paid, so
Not my problem.
Okay. I've been. Yeah.
All right, David, back with us.
Yeah. He
All right,
sure
so
is.
David, I was saying as we lost you there momentarily, time for Shelton Says the 3A game, BHP and Oceanside Collegiate.
Well, this is a really hard one to pick a winner, but you're going to make me do it. I'm going to pick Oceanside. I think their offense has been just unbelievably good over the last 8 weeks. Really good in the playoffs. They've scored over 100 points in the playoffs, and so is Belton Honeypath. I mean, it's an evenly matched game, but I'm gonna take in the rain and the cold. I'll take the defending champs.
All right. Let's move to the second game of the day, 4 o'clock. Lamar and Bamberg Earhart, the 1A guys, 4 o'clock, Lamar, Bamberg Earhart. What should we know?
Well, this is another great matchup. I mean, all 6 of these games this weekend are really intriguing matchups. Not a surprise that these two teams are in it. I mean, of course, you have Abbeville in Class A that is usually in it, but it's not a surprise that Lamar and Bamberg are in this game. Both teams have really good quarterbacks again. Zoe Pierce at Lamar and Marcus Can at Bamberg. Bamberg has traditionally been, kind of a line up and run it down your throat type team. Well, they throw it around a lot now. I mean, they're more of a passing team than they are a running team. Lamar can kind of do both. And I think they've both just been really good in the playoffs. They beat some good teams in the playoffs, and I think they both deserve their right to get here.
And Shelton Says the winner will be?
I'm gonna lean today. I'm leaning towards Lamar. I don't really have a reason why. I just feel like Lamar's going to win the game. We'll see.
All right. That's why they play the game. Let's go to 5A Division II at 7:30. Might be in the snow by then. Northwestern, Irmo, a rematch of a great game from last year. Will we have another great game this time around?
Yeah, I think so. I think, and the interesting thing about this game is that both teams lost their starting quarterback. A.J. Brand went to Virginia Tech, and the young man from his name escapes me, but he went to Gardner-Webb. So a lot of people wondered what these two teams would be like with new quarterbacks, and they've been great. I mean, Xavier Means at Northwestern is over 1,000 rushing, over 2,000 passing. Dobson at Irmo is over 2,000 passing, over 300 or 400 rushing. I mean, they've been really good, and that's the reason these teams are good. I think Irmo is a little bit better on defense, but offensively, I really like Northwestern. That air raid, they click. They got several receivers. They don't have to rely on one guy. And like I said, the quarterback is a real, true dual threat guy. that we'll see get some offers next year. So I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. Hopefully the weather doesn't play a part, but it is turf, so I don't know how much rain, unless it's just a really driving hard rain. I don't think that's going to make a difference in the game.
And Shelton says, who will win?
I think I'm going to take Northwestern. I just think I think they're going to win the game. I think Irmo has certainly got a shot, and it won't be an upset either way. But I got to pick one, so I'm going to pick Northwestern.
David, it's funny. Phil and I were joking off air. If these games actually took place in August, they would probably be either postponed or moved up. We'd have had some games tonight. Probably would have had some games, yesterday. But fortunately, because it's the state finals, they've got to be played when they're set. You talked about it a few minutes ago. It's disappointing, I would think, for the teams that the weather couldn't play a major factor. But of the 3 games tomorrow, if it is bad weather, all 3 games, which game do you think might be affected the most?
I would probably say the last one. I mean, both teams can run the football, but that's not their strength. I think if Lamar and Bamberg were affected, it would affect Bamberg more than Lamar. But hopefully, the main thing is it's going to hurt the crowd because it's going to be on TV and nobody's going to go sit in the rain.
Yeah. All right, David. We thank you, man. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow night. We'll break down the 3 Saturday games. That's David Shelton here on Sports Talk. Back in a moment.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy skies this evening, the low temperature dipping down to 43. Tomorrow will be nasty as we've seen in a while. Cold and soaking wet. Showers all day, some quite heavy, to go with a high temperature reaching only 46. The weekend arrives, more rain could come with it. A 50% chance for showers both Saturday and Sunday, with high temperatures around 50 degrees each day. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
This Christmas, give the gift of the outdoors to the sportsmen in your family. At Palmetto State Armory, find gifts that spark adventure, from rugged boots, cozy jackets, and outdoor clothing essentials, to must-have items like Yeti coolers, turtle box speakers, and Costa sunglasses. Whether you're shopping for the seasoned hunter or the next generation of outdoor lovers, Palmetto State Armory has everything you need to make memories this Christmas and beyond. Palmetto State Armory. Give the gift of the outdoors this year.
Who plays on Thursday came to the rescue of Texas Republicans, allowing next year's elections to be held under the state's congressional redistricting plan favorable to the GOP and pushed by President Trump, despite a lower court ruling that said the map likely discriminates on the basis of race. With conservative justices in the majority, the court acted on an emergency request from Texas for quick action because qualifying in the new districts had already begun, with primary elections in March. A man arrested by the FBI in its investigation into who placed pipe bombs in Washington before the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol has been charged with explosives offenses. More details at srnnews.com.
Every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on The Point, join me, Chad Jordan, and my co-host Larry Jordan for the Palmetto Real Estate Pros. We'll help you out whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn all things real estate every Friday right here at 100.7 The Point.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do 2 things? First, it serves as an instant generator the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, It lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
Experience South Carolina's printing powerhouse. Professional Printers is your trusted partner, bringing over 30 years of expertise in print and graphics. From digital printing to web and sheet-fed solutions, we handle it all with a team of over 100 dedicated professionals. Locally owned and operated, we have 2 locations in the Midlands and serve our customers with pride, ensuring top-notch service and quality in every project. We do it all, including storage and promotional products. Visit ProPrinters.com and elevate your printing experience with us.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck. Join us at Hanger Provisions Holiday Market at the Shops at Flight Deck Saturday, December 13th from 10 to 3. Enjoy a day of holiday shopping with gifts, baked goods, home decor, children's toys, and a bouncy ride for the kids. Take pictures with Santa. Support our giving tree to help someone in need and earn a chance to win a holiday raffle. Proceeds benefit the Lexington County Foster Association, Reconciliation Ministries, and Lexington Aging Commission. Come and enjoy Hanger Provisions Holiday Market at the Shops at Flight Deck on Saturday, December 13th from 10 to 3. Thanks y'all and Merry Christmas.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, back with you on Sports Talk. And let's give you the recruiting report tonight, and then we'll get to the M&M boys. Might be just one M. Maybe we'll have both M's. Could be one M. One M is better than no M's. But we're hoping to have both M's with us tonight. And recruiting is brought to you by our good friends over at Seawells. They're closed tomorrow for the daily luncheon buffet. They must have a special event going on. So save it for next week. And save that appetite, that lunch appetite for next week. And get over to the daily luncheon buffet from 11 till 2 for only $15. You will not be disappointed, and somebody's taking advantage of Seawells and their great catering business and their ability to handle major events, major parties at their location, or they'll come to your location as well. Find out more by giving them a call at 803-771-7385 or checking them out online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. All right, so again, big day for South Carolina. Gamecocks sign defensive end Julian Walker from Dutch Fork. I got to tell you, Bergie, saw him play in the state championship game last year. He is a good-looking athlete. I mean, he is good-looking, and he is close with Dylan Stewart. I would think this would, if there was any doubt, which maybe there never was, this was going to, guarantee Dylan Stewart would come back. These two guys playing together. He's going to be young. He's going to have to be brought along, but he's got all the essentials and the intangibles, I would say, to be an outstanding defensive end prospect for South Carolina.
All I needed to know, and I follow your pathway on this as opposed to the star ratings, is the fact that Michigan spent so much time recruiting a kid 1,000 miles away from their campus. If Michigan thought that much of him, he must be an outstanding player.
Yeah. And they'll see him in action again on Saturday night. So he signed with South Carolina, and the Gamecocks, of course, held on to Landon Duckworth. Heard from his coach earlier tonight, so that was big for them. They signed Tristan Lewis, who'd been committed. Tristan Lewis, what an interesting the guy's a quarterback at Greenwood and had just fabulous offensive numbers, but they like him as a safety. He's that tall, that big size safety, so they like him for that. So that's probably where he's going to end up. Meantime, today, Clemson getting their 5th commitment in the 2027 class from Daniel wide receiver Trey Wembley. Good player, was starting to pick up some major attention like Ole Miss and SMU and Georgia and Tennessee. Father works over there for Dabo Swinney and their organization, but they liked him anyway on his own merits. Moved from Birmingham a couple of years ago. This season he had 57 catches, 1,072 yards, and 14 touchdowns. So, and he's excellent speed. He is a track guy as well, so you'll see him this spring doing things for Daniel there. Coastal Carolina signed 9 on Wednesday. Quarterback Osiris Lopez from Massachusetts. Wide receiver Jaden Johnson from Texas City, Texas. Offensive lineman Nasir Jones of Cedartown, Georgia. Offensive lineman Gabe Jones from Locust Grove, Georgia. Offensive lineman Stefan Oristi, Ellington, Florida. Linebacker Romello Patterson from West Florence. Linebacker Garrett Orgos from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Pearl River Community College. Safety Zeke Marshall from Anderson. He goes to school at Rabun Gap in Georgia. And cornerback Michael Knight, also from McDonough, Georgia. And also 2027 cornerback Joshua Dobson of Catawba Ridge was offered by the new Auburn staff. 27 offensive tackle Ty Johnson of Lucy Beckham was offered by Massachusetts. Former Chapin quarterback Jaden Bradford transferring from Liberty. He appeared in one game this season as a redshirt freshman. And South Carolina defensive tackle Xavion Hardy will transfer. That's a case of a mislabel. At least to this point, he was labeled the number 1 junior college player in the country by 24/7 Sports. He played in one game at South Carolina against Coastal Carolina, so that billing did not turn out to be the case. But maybe he'll find somewhere else to play, and he will live up to that. That'll do it for recruiting tonight. Brought to you by our good friends over at Seawells.
It's the M&M Boys on Sports Talk with former Clemson offensive lineman Will Merritt and former South Carolina linebacker Corey Miller on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Oh, and I remember their signing days so well. Welcome in Will Merritt. Welcome in the pastor of Payne, Corey Miller. Yeah, Will, I can remember we were hanging on by the second until you finally committed to Clemson back there in 1990-something.
From Max that I was in. So,
well, Sadie, we picked you up in progress. Say that again.
I said all it took was a large chocolate milkshake from Max Drive-In, and I was in. So,
that was your NIL payment back in the day.
That's right. No, mine was not in your lifetime. That's my NIL.
Pastor of Payne, what do you remember about your signing day?
Let's see. That would have been 13, about 38 years ago.
Wow.
Almost 4 decades. Can you believe that?
Mm.
So, through all the football, NFL, college, a lot of hits, I can tell you I remember nothing about that.
I understood. Were you I mean, you obviously were going to be a Gamecock, but was there anybody else there at the 11th hour who was pressing you?
I mean, Clemson was really, really pressing me. It was hard. Danny Ford, I've been up there at Danny's house and parties out at the pool. And, I had some alumni in Pageland, Tucker family. That was our big company back then. Nelson Wallace, you may remember that name, played there from, my high school. They pushed hard. I had North Carolina, Georgia, but I wasn't going anywhere. I mean, I haven't been anywhere. I mean, I've been to Charlotte about as far as I've ever been. We were broke, had no money. I was pretty scared to leave home. So I knew it was going to be South Carolina because Al Usher was my coach and played here, and I've been coming to Columbia since, I was 14, 15 years old, the camps and games, and, they made sure that that wasn't going to happen, that I go somewhere else. But it is what it is. Still a proud Gamecock, great time, great friends, got married, great kids. So, God always had a purpose on the plan, and worked out great for me.
Absolutely, it did. Okay, let's talk about Saturday. Will, you're the winner. Your thoughts on what the Tigers did this time around?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was maybe one of the best four quarters that Clemson's played throughout the entire season. I don't know that anything really surprised me about the game a whole lot. I kind of anticipated Clemson to be able to run the football. If you'd have told me going into the game they were going to rush for well over 100 yards more than South Carolina and Cade Klubnik was going to outrush Lenore Sellers, I would have said, what game are you watching? But, that's what ended up matriculating, throughout the day. And I really think it comes down to two big categories, in my opinion. I thought line of scrimmage was huge for Clemson. They had the ball almost 40 minutes to 20 minutes. I mean, they had the ball 2/3 of the game. When you have the ball that much of the game, it's hard to lose. Number two, line of scrimmage on defense. With the 5 or 6 sacks and all the tackles for losses throughout the game, you can tell they really manhandled South Carolina's offensive line. But I also thought the other big key to the game, and this goes offense and defense. So if you're talking to an offensive guy like me or a defensive guy like Corey, third downs will change a game in one direction or the other always. Mm-hmm. And Clemson was 7 of 17 on third downs. They kept drives alive. South Carolina 1 of 11. They could not find a way to rattle the chains. And to me, that was a big, big factor in the 2-touchdown win for the Tigers.
Excellent point. What did you see, Corey, from the Gamecock perspective?
I saw nothing. That's just kind of what you described. I saw absolutely nothing. I think it was pathetic. I don't know how else to say it. I'm trying to be nice and very passionately right now, but very disappointed as an alumni, very disappointed as a supporter of South Carolina football. That was the worst game that I've seen them play all year. And the fact that you play in your in-state rivalry and it seemed to be no fire, no fun, no football on their part. And to allow Clemson to dominate as all the things that Will just threw out there tells you the whole story. I mean, and, South Carolina's a much better football team than what they displayed. Give Clemson credit. They won the game, so nobody's going to sit here and, I'm not going to sit here and, say, oh, this South Carolina's better. No, they weren't better on Saturday. Clemson was a much better football team, although from my football mind, there's still two average to bad football teams that played on Saturday, in my opinion. But listen, disappointed at how these guys played, disappointed at coaching. It was just bad. I mean, I really had no belief that Clemson was going to win this game because I thought if South Carolina played up to the part that we've seen them, they would win this game, especially being at home. But man, they were just terrible. Phil, I thought that a lot of lockers would be cleaned out after that game. A lot of coaches' lockers should have been cleaned out after that game. And what you got to have at South Carolina, I believe, it's just Shane's got to blow up a lot. And he's going to have to hurt feelings. He's going to have to tell people that they got to go find somewhere else to play because that is unacceptable. And if you're talking about being a championship team and, getting back to prominence, that can't be what you put on the football field, period. They need some better players at certain positions. They needed some better offensive linemen. I don't care what star was by their name when they recruited. That's why I don't get caught up in this recruiting crap no more. All this 4- and 5-star means absolutely crap. Unless you develop and perform, you're a 0-star. And several of those kids out there play like 0 stars. And so I felt like something bigger was happening with this team because there was no emotion. I'm being honest with you. I turned it off. I mean, it was just that bad to watch with the eye on TV. And so I think Shane is going to do his due diligence, which he's already started. They're going to have a makeover in coaching. They're going to have a makeover on that roster if they're going to compete, because you can't sit here and tell me Vanderbilt and all these other SEC teams, Missouri, and all these other teams that I put in that second tier in the SEC have leapfrogged South Carolina this much. I mean, they were just bad. I mean, I'm congratulations to Clemson, not taking that from them, but what a horrible effort. And I'm not going to hold back and say that. I'm not being personal. It's just what it was.
Sure. Do you think Lenore Sellers is back with them next year?
I don't know. I think, his family have a very hard decision. And here's the thing, and I'm just going to put, as a dad that's been through this, right, and then as a player. In this day and age, if I'm telling Lenore Sellers something, I'm saying I'm going to Shane Beamer, and I'm going to say, who are you hiring as an offensive coordinator? Who's going to make me better? Who's going to develop me? Who's going to put me in the system to excel? Because I know they're a loyal family. I know this for a fact. They're great people, and they want to be at the University of South Carolina. I believe Lenore wants to be here at the University of South Carolina. But if you're not going to help elevate him in the day of money, somebody else is going to do that. And I know for a fact that there's people calling. I know for a fact there's going to be numerous opportunities that might pay him more than at South Carolina. And then as a family, as he said in his press conference, you got to do what's best for you. So I'm not going to be mad either way. But if I'm Shane Beamer, I'm going to find him somebody to help elevate his game. I'm going to find some linemen that would actually block somebody. I'm going to find me some receivers that can get open and beat coverage to help this offense be dynamic, which it should have been. So, listen, I think we're a 50-50 chance, to be honest with you, that there's potential that he can go somewhere else. And if he does, based on how they helped him this year, you cannot be disappointed or mad with them.
M&M Boys here on Sports Talk, chatting with Will Merritt and Corey Miller. And guys, I'll ask both of you as former players, maybe you can explain what Phil and I have had a hard time trying to figure out, why the road team has been so good in this series. First off, Will, why is it that Clemson plays so much better in Columbia against the Gamecocks than they do at home? And vice versa, Corey, why do you believe that the Gamecocks just cannot show up and play, as you pointed out, their worst game of the year against the Tigers at home? Will, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a great answer to that. I mean, obviously the record speaks for itself. 9 out of the last 11 and 6 in a row in Columbia, to me, is the most staggering of them all. I know that playing down at Williams-Brice was always a very daunting task when I was a player, and it was loud. It was hateful from hate coming from the stands, but you actually feed off of that sometimes. I actually really enjoyed playing on the road. I loved it. I loved going into an environment where 90% of the people there don't like you, not because they know you and know your families, just because of the color you're wearing that day. And I loved it, and it just, you take on a whole new identity as kind of a villain coming into somebody else's house. And there's a whole lot to play in that, in the theatrics of that. But at the end of the day, it's still about who's the better football team, and in between the hashes. I think that Clemson, though, in my opinion, the times that we have been at South Carolina in the last 6 years, but the last couple of years, I think it's just fallen on a year of where we had big-time playmakers to actually finally show up and make big-time plays in that game. So they weren't on the sidelines watching, and I think for about 4 or 5 years, and you can name all the players, but they showed up. Just like this past time, Adam Randall shows up, and Antonio Williams shows up, Clay Kubnick shows up, defense shows up, Sammy Brown, blah, 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 all the way around for this year. But I think if you look back at the years past, for whatever reason, our big-time playmakers have always come up big on the road at South Carolina. For whatever reason, that's been their time to shine.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would say kind of the same thing. I mean, you just don't. I can understand that one, but I love playing on the road too. I mean, there's no greater feeling. To to win a game in someone else's backyard. It's kind of like the old Mike Tyson, right? You know, I'm coming into your backyard and I'm going to snatch your heart out. You know, that type of attitude. You know what I mean? And so there's no greater feeling than doing that. And so, yeah, sometimes, you know, you got to play with a little extra oomph when you're on the road because everybody's going to be against you. But again, I mean, this is disappointing, though. You know, the second worst year for Clemson in Dabo Swinney's era. I think I'm correct in saying that. A team that hasn't shown really no fire flash like that, although they won the last 3 games before coming in Columbia. But not a team that, you know, someone would be afraid of playing. And then you go down there and, you know, you pee down your leg. And so I just don't understand that when you're talking about. I feel bad for the Gamecock fans. I mean, they've been great all year long, man. That crowd is phenomenal, and they go there excited, and then this is what you give them. I'm sorry, it's just not good. And you know, I'm hoping that Shane, you know, makes some great hires and bring in some great guys, find some guys that want to be in South Carolina. I'm disappointed at Dylan Stewart. Been disappointed in a guy that was so much talent. That got 5 sacks all year and then didn't finish the game. You know, so yeah, and I've seen that a couple of times this year. So I don't know. That I can tell you this. I've been around a lot of football, Phil, and I can tell when sometimes maybe the locker room ain't clicking the way it's supposed to be clicking. And I think that was a large part of it for whatever reason. But I'm just telling you, being around football and knowing this game. And how players respond, something wasn't right because this is the worst. This team has battled all year, and you want to tell me against your in-state rival that you want to beat and the effort that you displayed, something bigger than me is far wrong than X and O's in that locker room, and they need to get it fixed.
Guys, we appreciate you so much. Y'all were great all season long. I hope y'all have a terrific off season. Enjoy the break from the pressure of joining us here on Thursday night to talk high-level football. I know it wears and tears on you. Pastor, good luck with the church, and I hope that
Thank you. Let me say this. The good news for me with Clemson winning is that people are tithing more freely now. Man, the bank account looks pretty good.
Well, now you can give more NIL. And
yeah, not from what I've seen on that football field. I give them a Waffle House breakfast. That's all I can give them.
Hey, Will, we might hit you up one time before the Clemson Bowl game if you're available.
Sounds great.
All right.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoyed it, guys. I hope y'all have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. And thank
Enjoy
you.
it, guys. Many blessings to everybody. Have a great Christmas to everybody, man. Be safe out there. Love being with you, and appreciate you having me.
Oh, thank you, Pastor. Good talking to you. That's the Pastor of Pain, Corey Miller, and Will the Thrill. I can't call him the Thrill because that's Carl Hill. I'll still call him. What can I call him? What rhymes with Will?
Bill.
The Bill? No, I don't like it. Will
rolling downhill.
Kill
the Will.
Will the Kill. Will the Kill. All right, we'll be back.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
The holiday shopping season is here. Get ahead of the crowd by shopping early and shopping smart with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through December 31st, take advantage of 5.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Whether you're picking up the hottest toys for the kids or finally grabbing that item you've had your eye on, this offer makes it easier to spend holiday cheer without stretching your budget. Founders is here to help you make the most of the season with smart spending and flexible options. Treat your family and yourself. Save more and make this holiday season one to remember. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more information. Membership qualification required. Promotional rate ends July 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13% to 17.9% will apply. See website for details.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Many of South Carolina's top high school seniors meet in one unforgettable showdown in Myrtle Beach. It's the 78th Annual Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. Hi, I'm Phil Kornblue. Join me Saturday, December 13th at noon, live on your Sports Talk Media Network affiliate and streaming on all of our social media channels. Don't miss the pride, the passion, and the tradition of the Touchstone Energy Bowl, powered by your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Get your tickets now at touchstoneenergybowl.com. South Carolina women leading at the half, 45-39 over Louisville. Tessa Johnson leads the Gamecocks with 14. Somebody with a really long name leads Louisville with 12. Stephen in West Columbia, gosh, we're up against it. Got about a minute. Fire away. What you got?
I'm going to go really fast. Thank you for having me on. Yep. I tuned in a little late, but and so I know we're trying to be forward-looking, but I'm still preoccupied with the Texas A&M game, and maybe I've missed the analysis, but my circle of friends are all like, "Man, if we played that first half was in the Texas A&M game was like," and the story, my takeaway from the Texas A&M game was the number 3 team in the country didn't realize that if you put pressure on our offensive line, like we fold. And they figured that out at halftime. But I'm interested in Texas A&M fumbled the ball by not putting pressure on our quarterback.
Let me jump in. We're short on time. Let me just say that, not to take anything away from the Gamecocks, Texas A&M was on drugs in the first half, and then they came out of it in the second half, and you saw what happened. Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.